Super GT, viewer here.
Oh, hello viewers, Super GT here. Karting video. It's been a long time, I'm sure you're glad to see these return. We've had a spinner within 2 seconds of joining the track. That's a great way to start the video, and hopefully it doesn't set the tone for the video. But finally we return for some karting, and upon my return for karting, I almost sent myself to the shadow roll by threading the needle between that gap between that stricken kart and the lamppost. I mean, that was a rather close shave that I'd rather not have to go through again. Let's take a look at it again though. As I'm flying in, no grip, first lap of the day, going in there full speed, cold tyres. And how I didn't hit anything, I don't know. But the gods are looking down upon me very favourably. So, upon my friend Steve Hicks here pitting, we're going to rejoin the circuit. Now, this first part of the video is a 1 hour race we did on Saturday. And it's kind of it's a team race. It's a 1 hour race. This is the qualifying, so I'm going to go out and do the qualifying. By this point here, a bit more grip, not going flying across the grass, which often helps if you're not doing that. So let's take a look at my qualifying lap here at Whilton Mill. What a circuit this is. Great track. So yes, karting videos. I do have quite a few. Well, I have a few coming up. Now, you're probably wondering, how are you karting because there's a lockdown? This was actually recorded last year, 2020. So I just didn't get around to making it into a video, but here we are. I have finally now got around to making it into a video, and hence why you're watching it right now, obviously. But so this is my qualifying lap. We changed our kart actually in qualifying. In practice. We didn't feel as though our kart was good, so this was our second kart. We're going to see if it's any decent, any good. Into this final corner, I am just going to get slightly slowed down, which might cost me a tenth, which could be crucial. Then we cross the line at the end of qualifying, and I don't know how well I've done. It felt like a good lap. But you never quite know until you see the standings. And one thing I had to do here is just practice getting in and out of the kart very quickly, because we were going to have to do that in the race.
Kart needs a bit of warming up.
Yeah, it felt alright.
Your fastest lap was your last lap.
Yeah, and I was slowed down.
Slowed down there.
Yeah.
You're only two temps off.
So we're in ninth. I didn't quite get the car warmed up quickly enough there. I only had like a couple of minutes, and I was getting used to the brake pedal, but
Swap car, didn't we? So
yeah, we'll be able to descend it from ninth.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start ninth. The annoying thing here, though, the reason why this video looks very strange right now, is being recorded on 360 camera, but I pressed the time-lapse button instead of the normal video record button, and I couldn't get this footage properly, which is really annoying, because I made my way up to about third on the first lap, and then we actually were fighting for the lead. I pitted, Steve went out, and then we actually managed to win the race with an overtake on the final corner, which is doubly frustrating because it would have been a really good video. But there you go, things happen in the content creator universe. Hello viewers, you joined me on the second day of karting. Sorry for the time lapse. I've recorded it in the wrong mode. Really easy to do on that GoPro, annoyingly. This part of the video is now sprint racing, so 4 races, 3 heats and a final. Okay, let's get into heat number 1.
Okay, it's definitely not on time-lapse mode this time. Starting 11th. Let's see how many positions I can make up.
Okay, so the next day we come back for sprint racing, so 3 heats and then a final. Our good friend here, Alistair, going to give us a wave and say hello viewers. Thank you very much. So 3 heats. The first heat here, I'm going to be starting 11th out of, I think it's about 18 players. I'm going to say players then. They're actually real people. Drivers. Right, across the line immediately, the right hand side of the grid not getting a good start, so immediately up into 9th, courtesy of that. The 2 positions for free, but that's often what happens when you're on the inside line. And then up in towards Christmas corner, around the outside, lovely move there. Camera goes all funky for a second. Moving up the order here, and then unfortunately this is where it unravels. We get shepherded. Is that a word? Shepherded? I'm going with it. We get shepherded onto the grass, and that's not an ideal position to be. So we lose a couple of positions. I was looking really good there. I think I was up into 6th momentarily, but then dropping back down to 8th. A bit frustrating, but we just continue. 8 laps within which to try and regain some positions here. And coming up towards the final corner then. Sweeping through here, do not want to touch that curb. It's basically Mount Everest of the United Kingdom. And if you clip it, you are going to flip sideways into the wall, basically. But I've seen a lot of owner-driver racing, and they actually completely abuse that curb sometimes. But owner-driver cars are a bit more resilient, I think. Right, through here, it all kicks off. I don't quite manage to gain a position out of it. Although coming down into Ashby Hairpin, I do go for it. Pin up the inside. Lovely move up into 7th. Not getting a good exit. You see the gap opening up there, courtesy of that slightly slower exit. But still plenty of time left here. 7 lap. Well, I say plenty of time. I mean, an 8 lap race is only like about 7 minutes, so it's not that long really. Although still early days in the race. Looking like the top 3 are already beginning to pull away. We've got a yellow flag there. What is going on? Can't quite see. We've got another yellow flag. So something going through the first corner. Oh, there's someone stricken on the right hand side there. And then we're going to tuck into the slipstream here. You can see how much of a difference it makes as I slowly begin to gain and then just slam it up the inside. Boom. Job done. Up into 6th place. So we're finally back to where we were momentarily on lap 1. So it takes a couple of laps to regain, you know, if you can gain 2 positions on lap 1, it's so much, it helps so much in your race because it takes so much longer to gain that back later in the race. And then we go for a repeat on lap number 4, up into 5th place. And you see the gap now to the top 4. Alistair in the pink helmet done a really good job here to move up the order very quickly. And he's already onto the podium, well, onto the back of people on the podium. But then by the end of lap 7, I did slowly manage to reel in 1 driver. So I think this is our best chance for gaining position. Just getting to 4th. I don't think the top 3 is going to be possible with only 1 lap left to go. But through the final corner, we're going to size up this move. He actually clipped the curb there, which is semi-disastrous, as I do manage to gain on him. But this is where we whip out the special move. The signature move, if you like. The outside around Whilton Christmas corner. Boom. Job done. We've done that one a couple of times before. We're gonna take a look again because it's worth watching again. So you go to the outside, brake late, pinch him onto the apex. You see him, he shakes his head here. He knows he got completely done. And I think, yeah, quite disappointed that he maybe braked a little bit too early there. By the end of the race, managing to finish in 4th. So quite a solid result, I suppose. Started 11th, finished 4th. Can't complain too much.
How the fuck did you stick that? I thought you braked a bit early there. Ah, yeah. I think that was 4th then. Big old send at the end.
Alright. Race number 2. This one going to be starting in 5th. We've got the day, you know, up to a good start. 4th place, okay. It's not a win, but it's not a 2nd either. It's not a 3rd either. But at least we didn't, you know, from 11th on the grid, you could always get caught up in an accident and finish 12th or something. You just never know. So, finishing 4th, solid result. Starting a bit closer to the front this time. And thankfully enough on the inside, which means we should get a decent run here at the start, and we do. Already alongside 4th place as we go into the first corner. It's just the outside line though for this turn 2. We do need to move over to the right hand side here, ideally, as we do. We're going to gain that position there. And we follow Dan Healy through. So this will be our main competition. Dan Healy, very quick driver. He's going to be the main guy to try to beat in this race. He gets run wide. He gets shepherded. It just doesn't sound right, that word. Probably because it isn't a word. I don't know. I really need to brush up on my dictionary skills. But he gets run wide, and we gain the position up into 3rd. And you can see the leader already with a decent margin. It just shows you when everyone's fighting in the mid-pack, the leader can just get their head down and just pull away. And if they can open up a second or two and just get out of overtaking range, then that's really good for the leader. So through the final corner, end of lap number 1. Guy ahead runs a little bit wide, shakes his head. You know that he's made a mistake. Look at the leader though. He makes a very big mistake here. I think he overcooks turn 1 and then gets the completely wrong line through turn 2. Loses probably half a second, maybe more. Now, guy ahead is going to block the inside. We're going to try the outside move. We made it work in the last race. Why not try it again? Doesn't quite work. He defended that one really well. Not much I can do. You know, if they defend it properly, there's not much you can do. You can be very brave, committed. It works around Christmas corner because it's banked and you can brake very late. It's uphill, it's banked. Everything's in your favour, I suppose, for an outside move. Or just a move in general around that corner. It's probably the best overtaking corner. One of the best overtaking corners in the country, we could say. And it's very much a favourite of mine. Inside or outside. Right, final corner then, lap number 2. 6 to go. Sitting pretty here in 3rd, and we're going to try and begin to make some inroads towards 1st place, if at all possible. Coming up towards Christmas then, lap number 3, nothing going to happen there. But this is where the race begins to accelerate in pace. As the guy in 2nd just goes for a lunge, way too deep. Green helmet completely misjudges his braking point as well. So I got up the inside, momentarily in the lead, have to concede, but then go for the cutback. The old switcheroo, as David Croft would say. And then we get the move done. Up into the lead of the race. Then up into the boot. Thinking about defending. I was probably looking over my shoulder at that point and then decided, you know what, he's not close enough, so I'm not going to defend it. You don't want to defend if you don't have to defend. And then we're rounding out the 3rd lap. 5 to go in the lead. Not bad. We're going to try and pull away now. That's the main thing. Just try and get some air between myself and probably Dan Healy. The only thing that could stop me was a back marker, but this isn't Forza. You see the back markers are actually very polite. He actually waved me through. It was like he rolled the red carpet out for me and just allowed me to pass without a moment's hesitation. You love to see it, don't you? Then through the final corner, race number 2. It's going to be a win, so that's a good result, obviously. I mean, that's how racing works. So a 1st and a 4th, pretty solid start so far.
I'm well over, I'm alright. Thank you, Steve. Good. Okay, 2 heats done. Was it a 4th and a 1st? Oh, that first heat was pretty fun. We got another outside manoeuvre up at Christmas Corner. What have we got now? Starting 7th in the last heat. The heat of death, it's been dubbed. Quite a lot of us in there. If we can get top 4, we should be top 4 on the grid for the A final. So I think that's got to be our aim. I've tracked down Mike, who's starting in front of me in the next race. How far in the barrier do you want to be at Christmas?
At Christmas?
Yeah.
I want to be on the dirt track.
Okay. Enjoy the dirt track.
Thanks, mate.
Alright, heat number 3. Mike Coppin wants to be sent into the dirt track. There he is, right in front of me. So, you know, it's my duty now to punt him into another dimension. I'm going to try and do that. Heat number 3 starting 7th. Let's try and bring home a good result. We've got some of the big boys in this race, so it's not going to be easy. Let's see how we fare. Across the line, the race begins. And Mike, funny enough, does get shown wide, shepherded wide into the dirt. And we gain a position out of that. In fact, we're up into 5th, around the outside here of Ed Bars. Probably the main competition for this race. I've just dissed everyone else, sorry. And it looked like deja vu here. I was going to get run wide, didn't quite happen, but boom. The space was there around the outside. Classic. Boom, up into 2nd. Theme of the video, maybe overtaking around the outside. If you can't do it on the inside, then, well, get your overtaking around the outside game sorted out, and there's very much positions to be gained from doing that. And to be honest, a lot of people do that. They queue up on the inside, and then they leave just the biggest space of all time on the outside. You might as well just use it. and it works a lot of the time. And that is a case in point, lap number 1 of this race. We go from 7th to 1st. That is a pretty decent return. Now it's a case of doing the same as we did in the previous race. Get your head down, human DRS, gain every 10th you possibly can. Pull away from the pack, early doors, build a gap, establish yourself in the race, and bring home the bacon. Even though I'm not carrying any bacon, but it's just a figure of speech, I'm sure you know. Right, let's take a look at lap number 2. Nicely done. I mean, Whilton Mill, one of my favourite tracks. It's just a track that flows very nicely, especially that infield. I don't know why the camera's shaking about so violently. I think it's just because I'm just going that quick, you know, just going that quick. The camera just can't take it. Yellow flag through the final corner. So what are we looking at here? I can't quite see anything. We are going to skip forward a couple of laps. This is the beginning of lap number 5, and what I didn't want to happen has happened. I've been caught by Ed Bars. You can see as we flick behind here, and he was the reigning champion of this series and the championship points leader at this point in time, and therefore we got our work cut out. This is not going to be one of those races where you just drive home in the merry sunset to a very easy victory. It's going to be one of those ones you have to fight for. So defending a lot of this lap, as you can probably tell by the slightly differing lines towards the inside on corner entry, and we have 3.5 laps left, or 3 1/3 laps left now to try to hold him at bay. Not going to be easy, especially because he goes up the inside and immediately goes past, so I've completely failed my objective there. But my main thought as we cross the line with 3 laps left to go is to not let him settle into any sort of comfort and rhythm at the front of the pack. Hence we tuck into the slipstream here and immediately go back for a reply into Christmas. This time on the inside for once. Now, just didn't want to let him settle into this race, and I just wanted to let him know, you know what, I'm just going to go straight back past you, even if it costs us all a load of time, because I'm going to fight for this race. And it's probably quite an annoying thing. You know, when you overtake someone and they overtake you immediately back, it's actually quite frustrating. So that's the idea behind that. So now we have 2 laps to try to hold him back. Again, going very defensive, force him to the outside. I overcook it slightly. He gets a run on the exit, but then he gets shepherded wide and shown into the grass, and he has to back out. So keeping the lead. That was a close one though. Didn't quite get on the brakes as early as I'd like. 1 more lap left to go. Final lap board is out, and then through the first corner and second corner. Are we going to defend? Yes, you see here, all the way to the right hand side. Last minute move out, of course leaving the cart width on the outside, but done a slightly better job that time of defending that corner. Down into Ashby, again another good overtaking opportunity. Cover it narrow, make sure there's no move there. Still quite a few overtaking opportunities. I think there's like a good 5 or 6 corners around this track where someone could realistically go for a move. So it's never a track that you can really rest at. I mean, there's some tracks in the calendar where you can be quite sure that you're going to stay ahead. For example, Red Lodge or something. But Whilton Mill, it's not quite the same as Red Lodge. Lots of overtaking opportunities. He overtook me there on lap 4 or 5. There's always a chance he could do it again, but wasn't going to happen. Finishing in the lead and winning the race. So that was a decent return. First, and 4th. And that was all after winning the day before as well. So it's been a good day so far. And hopefully that'll be pole position for the final.
Alright, time for the final. Pole position. Let's go full send.
Hello, Super GT. Viewer here.
That's Mike Coppin. He always gets a black flag. He got +10. Naughty boy.
If I come and catch you, then something's gone very wrong for you or very well for me.
Alrighty then, the final, and as predicted, I was on pole position. Look at this tyre warming. The tyre's already up to the temperature of the sun. There's no way I can lose now, surely. Right, pole position then, for the final. We've done a good job in the heats. the heats are really all about just overtaking. And then the final is where you really come up against all the big boys. Everyone's together. All the front runners emerge at the front. And this practice, we got a sort of a 5-minute session here to try to establish our karts and work out if our kart is a good one or not. And I felt as though mine wasn't. You see the time I was losing there. It's hard to know without the kart fully being warmed up. I made the decision here to bring this kart in. I wasn't happy. Despite only doing 1 lap there, I wasn't happy with the pace of it. So I wanted to change. And that's exactly what we did here. Changing our camera, got to change all the number plate, transponder, the pedals, etc, etc. So this is a bit of a gamble. You know, this kart could be even worse, could be better, we don't know. We have to warm it up and find out. We've still got a couple of minutes here to try to warm it up. So what I did, I let someone go past, and you can use another driver as a reference to see if your kart is good. Hopefully their kart is a bit warm. And I wasn't really liking what I was seeing here, because you see here on the exit of corners, he was just really pulling away. I mean, here, just look at the gap here, and then look at it a couple of seconds later. So losing a car length or 2 on the exit of corners. So I was going into this race really, really not in a good space, because I felt like my kart just wasn't there. All I could do was just hope that the kart got warmed up quickly, and that we could do a bit better further into the race. Got some footage here from Alpha Live, just nice external shots as well. So let's do it. Crossing the line, pole position, 14 laps of racing, in the lead. Let's see if we can bring home a victory. We've had 3 victories in this weekend so far, and we're going to see if we can make that number 4. Up to this point, I hadn't won a final this year. This was 2020, of course. I hadn't won a final, so it would have been nice to do that. Didn't manage to do it all year, and it was probably long overdue. So here we go then. So first lap so far going well. Haven't been overtaken. Settling into a nice rhythm. You see, well, look at this, right? This is more resembling a Forza lobby here. It all begins to kick off. Penalties left, right and centre, no doubt. And it all begins to kick off big time, as it usually does in the mid-pack in these finals. Which is why, of course, you want to be out towards the front. It always helps. Right, end of lap 1. You see here, as we pan out, it's close. I haven't driven away at all. I've got close attention of at least 4 drivers there. So this is not going to be an easy one. I knew that. I went slightly defensive there into Christmas. But it's always it's difficult to defend. We've got a wet surface flag there, actually, just shown. We're going to skip towards the end of lap 4, crossing the line to begin lap number 5. You see it's the same situation here. And I've managed to keep these guys at bay. I know that I'm slow. I don't have the pace here. I do not have the pace. I'm having to defend. You see how all over me these guys are. And this isn't a case of me being the same pace as them. It's really a case I am slower. I know I'm slower, but they're just not able to get past at this point in time. So it's a tricky one. 14 laps is not easy to defend for 14 laps. Not at Whilton Mill. And we're going to do our best. But it's going to be tricky from here to the end of the race. We're going to have to use every ounce of experience we've got in our karting career so far. Try to bring home a result here. As I feel like you can see it in the practice that the car just didn't quite want to accelerate, which doesn't help. Crossing the line, beginning of lap number 6, still with the very close attentions of Dan Healy just behind, up towards Christmas, defending once again. Normally I hate having to defend this early into a race. Peter Knights goes around the outside, really nice move. I hate having to defend this early in a race. You only really want to defend sort of second half, last quarter of the race. And then Peter goes actually for this move here. It was about time someone set a move, to be honest. And now we can see the difference in karts. As Dan goes past, I managed to get back into second here by being on the inside. And Peter Knights actually with some really nice, brave moves there, just getting the job done and moving it immediately up into the lead. We're going to do our best to try to keep up with him. It's not going to be easy. But with still 8 laps left to go. Look how close it is. That is just ridiculous. I mean, normally the race gets much more stretched than that. I think because I was just holding everyone up so much. Everyone was joining the back of the Super GT Express, and it wasn't moving very quickly. That train was not moving very quickly at all. I get overtaken here. I decide that once someone goes past into the lead, there's no point defending because you have to slightly work together to try to get closer to the leader. And I was doing my best by this point, trying to hold on, but you can just see I was dropping backwards. I just had no pace at all. It was a very horrible feeling, being in a race, starting at the front, but just going backwards. It is one of the worst feelings in the world. Arguably worse than childbirth, I would say. And we get another move done. We've been overtaken 3 times on this lap, and it's quite clear the signs are all there that I don't have the pace at all. Already about 3 or 4 seconds off the lead by lap number 11. Overtaken again and again. It's quite a horrible showing, to be honest. And it's just one of those days. It's just one of those races, I suppose. In karting, for those of you who do karting, you'll know. You have some days which just go to plan, some that don't. I decided to completely rage quit the race. It was not my finest hour, but this is going to bring a close to the video. I do hope you enjoyed the video, but I want you to let me know if you think I'm unhappy or happy here, because I'm not sure it's completely obvious. But thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll leave you at the end of this video, but I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Sorry to report, I think Steve Brown is out because he's fallen a long way down the odd. There he is, and he's not happy. He's not happy at all, and that's a real shame for Steve.